Hey, this is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on a limb. Buenos dias from Montevideo. Actually, I'm here in the lobby of the A-Love Hotel here in Puntas Carretas. 10 to 8 in the morning, and this music is already blasting, so it's pretty happening here. But I'm really excited today because I'm actually off to Colonia, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site here in Uruguay. It's so funny that of all the times I was in Buenos Aires, I didn't get a chance or didn't want to take the ferry over to Colonia for a day trip. I'm actually doing the same now, doing a day trip to Colonia, except now I'm in Montevideo and not Buenos Aires. Anyways, little known facts about Colonia. It has a lot of cobblestone streets, old buildings. Apparently it's really charming, so come go out on the limb with me and we'll explore Colonia together. Folks, before we start, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Muchas gracias. Hey guys, about 2.5 hours bus ride. We're finally here in Colonia. Sleepy town initially, but I think a lot of historical sites await. So before you arrive at Colonia, you see these big letters saying Colonia. It's a thing here in Uruguay apparently. There's one in Montevideo, so people just love to take pictures in front of them. The park in the middle definitely offers some relief from the heat if you're here on a hot summer day. And this is also where you see locals selling stuff like, handicraft, art stuff alongside the park as well. There's actually a lot of lighthouses here in Uruguay. I think there's about 28 or 29 of them. So this country is all about lighthouses. And of course, you'll find one here in Colonia. And this one dates back to the 1850s. And you can actually climb up the staircase to the top to have a view of Colonia. So founded by the Portuguese in 1680, Colonia del Sacramento, that's the full name, is located at the tip of a short peninsula that offers them a strategic position facing Buenos Aires. Now in this area, the historical quarter of Colonia is perhaps the only example of an urban plan that does not conform to the rigid checkerboard grid that was imposed by Spain under the laws of the Indies. Instead, the city has a free plan adapted to the topographical features of the site, albeit strongly influenced by its military function. So walking down these old streets of Colonia, it's kind of like taking a step into the ominous past of the colonial settlement. For example, this popular cobblestone street was where they used to haul slaves from Africa onto different parts of the town to be auctioned off and sent to different places for work. So yeah, it's not so great of a history.
al 100. Tú me mientes en la cara y yo me vuelvo ciego. No. Yo me trago tus palabras, tú juegas un juego y me brilla el mundo cuando dices luego. Cuando dices luego.
So all of its modest buildings, in regard to both the dimensions and the appearance, are a particularly interesting testimony to the singular fusion of the Portuguese and Spanish traditions that clearly is presented here in the construction methods being used. As you can see, it's a beautiful tree-lined street behind me. So this is the main street of Colonia. Absolutely gorgeous. You can always walk in the shades, I guess. It's a beautiful day. So this is the main street or avenue here in Colonia. It's called Avenida General Flores. And here you can actually walk along under the trees. It's a tree-lined avenue that provides a lot of shade, I may add. Especially on a hot day, this would be much appreciated. And you actually find a lot of shops here if you want to engage in some shopping as well. And if you're hungry from all the walking, located on this avenue is a popular restaurant called Macorsor. Think of it as like a diner, an upscale diner. And this is actually where you can get a lot of the typical Uruguayan dish. And of course, the menu is actually in English as well as Spanish. And you know, with the amount of tourists, you get pizza and pasta as well. So we went with the spaghetti with mushroom sauce and also a good pamplona of pork tenderloin. They actually do really good pork here in addition to beef, I have to say. I love when they cook here, they actually don't put salt because the government has actually advised people to reduce the consumption of salt. In fact, the salt shaker is actually not available at every table. They actually banned it, you have to ask for it. But the food itself doesn't have any salt content. It's very healthy. You can put a little bit if you like. This is really the government's attempt to combat obesity. I think it's ingenious. The exterior of the pork tenderloin or the pamplona of pork tenderloin is crispy, while the interior is actually juicy and succulent. So it's actually done to perfection. I have to say kudos to them because it's not easy to do a pamplona. So Colonia is definitely a beautiful and historical, not to mention safe city to visit when you're down here in South America. So when you're visiting Buenos Aires, you can always take a day trip over here, as a lot of people do that. Or if you're traveling in this beautiful country of Uruguay, much underrated country I have to say, definitely come here for a day trip or even spend a night or two here just to experience the nostalgic ambience that this colonial town offers. I love it.